Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm your host, Don Yazzie. With me, my co host, Darren Yazzie,
There you go.
and our guest of honor right here, our team member, Mr. Lecedric Willie, aka Mr. Lee, our gifted member. And Mr. Lee, say what's up to everybody.
How's it going, everyone? How's it going, Don and Darren?
Well, it's been a minute since we had you back on. It's good to have you back. Man, I had to re-listen to the whole conversation we had last time. So
That's good.
it's
Oh
good to
yeah,
have you back.
heck
Yeah.
yeah. Let's start off right here with the. Oh yeah, sorry. What were you gonna say, Lee? Go for it, bro.
Oh no, just had to write down notes and everything, so I know what to tell you guys.
Heck yeah! Can't wait to get this show started right here already. Right here, Javon Koshel 24/7. Hey, early, let's go. Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, bro.
Yep.
Would have started earlier, but we're dealing with technical difficulties. I'm glad you stuck around. Z Sun Dragon, no sound. Oh.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had that for
Yeah.
the intro. So
Oh man. Yeah, we're dealing with StreamYard is really messing up. It's really messing up. This is our studio is running off of that software StreamYard and it's a pain. Oh yeah, here we are, man. Sorry, it took me a while to try to get everything going. I lost everything. I'm like, oh my goodness. AZ Lyman, 47. What's up, AZ? What's up, Don Darren? Beautiful night here in San Diego. Feels like spring here.
mm,
Oh
yeah.
man, I bet.
Yep.
That means it's gonna be a hot spring and a hot summer here.
Yep.
Z-Sun Dragon. Hi Don. Hi Darren. Hi Lee.
How's it
Hey,
going?
what's up?
Z-Sun Dragon. Sydney Ganado Negro. Yeah. Y51. Hello. What's up, Sydney? Z-Sun Dragon. Okay. Well, hey, thank you for saying hello to everyone. Z-Sun Dragon. Dreamweaver. Hi guys. What's up, Dreamweaver? Great name, by the way. Great name. Najoni Yeja. I made it. Good evening. Hey, Najoni Chishi. I mean, Najoni Yeja. It's the Chishi one right there. Sally Fourth alone. Hi. What's up, Sally? Right here, Najoni Yeja. Double D's and Chishi lips. Oh, there. There we go. Right there. Glad to see you guys made it here. It's awesome, and Darren and I love doing this, and we do this to reach like-minded people, and that's how we met Lee. It's through this podcast. Amazing people, and hopefully we get to work really soon with the stars aligned, God willing, Lord willing. All that. We'll all work together and make some great content for everyone to enjoy. So, Darren, do you have anything you want to say before we start off?
Well, the holidays are right there. Try not to panic. Don't worry about Christmas that much. It's just another day. People seem to take it a bit too much. So you know, calm down and sit down and listen to some stories with us. The best thing you can do is just do your best to relax. And Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad, I guess you would say. So, and
Nice. Yep.
thanks to Lee, man. It's nice having you back again. We're gonna go a little bit deeper on the stories you have.
Hello, Polar Nights. Good morning. Um, yeah. Like real quick before we start off, like what Darren was saying, everybody, it's another day, but please work safe. There's always accidents that go on in the job site, because we're all blue collar workers here. There's always job accidents and people, losing their lives when they're going home. Accident on the road. Drive safe as well. Don't rush home. Make it home in one piece for you listeners out there. Because a lot of us on the Navajo Nation, from the Navajo Nation, we had to leave the reservation to work. So make sure everyone drives safe out there and be thoughtful of the road and who you share it with, and be careful. That's all I have to say on that. Thanks for reminding us on that, Darren.
Oh,
Mr. Lee, we shall give you the mic.
Well, I had to write down my notes, so I came up with some possible Bigfoot stories and possible Dogman sighting that I seen,
Hmm.
and of course some Skinwalkers and some stories that were passed down to me.
Ooh, all right.
So
Go ahead.
I guess I'll tell you what the Bigfoot story.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah. Whichever you
happened.
want to unpack first. Don't
Yeah,
matter.
this happened like about maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, about 6 years ago it happened, and I was at my ex-in-laws house, and we were having a
Ooh,
dinner, and it was like about 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, and the dogs just started going crazy outside. And usually when we hear that, I don't really bother, or don't tend to look outside or anything. But for some reason, something told me to go outside. So I got my flashlight and I went outside. I was looking around. I didn't really see anything until I looked up on top of the hill, and then there's a big cedar tree that's up there, and I see eyes, like two glowing eyes, standing above it. And that tree is about maybe, I don't know, about 6, 7 feet tall, and it was just standing above it, just looking at us. And I was just looking at it, like thinking, what can that be? Like, that's too tall for anything normal. I wasn't thinking about Bigfoot or anything. So me being who I am, I started walking towards it. And as I was moving closer to it, it was starting to move down the hill. But it wasn't moving along the hill. It would creep behind the hill, and it'll pop up in a random spot again. And then eventually it got to the point where we kind of met towards the bottom of the hill. We were like maybe about 20, 30 feet apart from each other. And it was looking in between the branches of a tree.
oh,
And seeing it on top of the hill, it looked different than the way it was on the bottom of the hill, because the eyes looked like it was spread apart more. And if I would have to guess, the eyes were probably about maybe 3 to 4 inches apart. So it had to be something big. And it just it turned around and it walked away, and you can hear some like heavy footsteps, but I just kind of left it alone, because after I saw that, I kind of got freaked out by and I just turned around and went back, and I told everybody there was nothing, just so they won't get scared. And then give or take a couple of days or something like that, I was I woke up in the middle of the night, went to the restroom, and then I was walking back, and they have this big tree in the back of the house, and there's a window right there. And I just happened to walk next to that window, and I just caught a glimpse of something big standing next to the window. And then I turned around and I looked back at it, and then I could still see it, but you couldn't really tell it was there. But you can tell from the outside, like it was a full moon. You can see the light from the moon on the ground, the tree, but then there was just like a black figure standing right there. And then I walked closer to it, and it just seemed like it disappeared or something. And I thought I was just imagining it, because you know how the nighttime can play tricks on you. So I left it alone. Next morning I woke up, I looked back there, and you can tell there was like some disturbance on the ground where that window is. And mind you, this window is like about mm, 6.5 feet off the ground. So from where my perspective, where I seen it, I was looking at the shoulders. So that thing had to be about maybe 7 to 10 feet tall.
Oh,
But after that, I never seen anything after that. So that
hmm.
was like maybe the first time I ever seen a Bigfoot.
Well,
being a
well,
peeping Tom,
where
huh?
was this? Where
It's
is this
cool.
at again?
Uh, in Red Rock, so
Red
south
Rock.
of Gallup. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Huh. Awesome. Did you ever go outside and see some footprints or see anything?
Not when I was staying there, but they have told me when they were living in Pine Hill that there was there was Bigfoot tracks outside their house. They lived
Wait,
I
you
think
said
like
Pine
about
Hill
maybe
again, too,
2 miles.
right?
Yeah, about 2 miles before the store.
Wow. Yeah, dude, it's Pine Hill. It's a nice place. Don't get me wrong, I love that
Yeah.
place. But there's a lot of stuff that uh, during the night a lot of stuff can run around at night for sure.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, I'm actually looking at doing a little bit of searching out there. Might get a hold of Raven Ranch and take a look at where she's seen her portal and her Bigfoot out there in Candy Kitchen. So my
Oh, did you see the Beth one she posted on Facebook like last month?
mm,
Um, where I think we are talking about little people with Thomas Seawood,
yeah,
and she had a picture that she'd been holding on to for a long time of a picture from her trail cam. It was aimed to the tree, and she got a picture of a little person with a bow and arrow,
no,
looking
wow,
that side. And how it looked like those I think those Kachina dancers, like how their hair is like
Yeah.
this, and
hmm.
then down here you can't really see, but right here you can see it's like really hairy. So it
Wow.
looked like that. I'll ask her for that picture again. It's really nice though. So yeah, I thought I'd throw that in. So and then Darren's brother seen lizard too running across the road back on our Halloween bash.
Yeah,
Oh
he
yeah.
brings
Yeah.
Story,
he
too.
brings that
I
up.
think there's a Hollow Earth entrance down that way.
Yep,
So legit Hollow Earth
for,
because all
for
the
sure,
old
for
volcano
sure.
caverns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of tunnel systems. But you go ahead, Lee. We'll give you back the mic. Wait, 1 second here before we continue here. Let's read some of this real quick. Polar Nights. I see you also have the same dogma. Don't whistle at night. Don't draw on the bad spirits.
yeah,
Oh yeah, all the way from Norway, North Norway, from
wow.
North Pole. Actually, they have those little people there as well. Definitely would like to hear some of your stories. Polar Nights. Crazy Coyote, here we go. Yes, sir. Crazy. Easy Lyman, glad your guest showed up. Thank
Oh,
you, Mr. Lee.
as for that too, Damien had a surprise birthday party, so that was the reason for why you didn't show up. So saying that from Don't Will Out Night, happy birthday, Fabian, if you hear this.
31, right? 30 or 31, wasn't it?
Mm,
One of those ones. I think I can't remember. Yep. When we get some every one of our guests will definitely get some merch whenever we get that going off the ground, which is gonna be this coming year. We get everything in control, back in order, of all the crazy living expenses that, living off the reservation that we all have to deal with. This
Yep.
and that, and everything all gets in lined up, and we can't wait to sell some good merchandise to everyone. Everyone's been asking TikTok, YouTube, like, hey, just hang on, we'll get some coffee cups soon.
yeah,
But yeah, every one of our guests will get some cool merch though, definitely.
yeah, for sure, for
Um,
sure.
let's see here. Uh, let's see here. Right here. Little Wolf C13, hi Don and Darren.
Hey, what's
I'm
up,
on
little?
time today. Hello. Yeah, thank you, Little Wolf. Thank you. Chris Soto, Mr. Soto. What to say, Mr. Soto? Good evening, gentlemen. The Bigfoot experience is always a good place to start the evening. Oh yeah, everyone loves a
Mm,
good Bigfoot stories for sure. My favorite cryptid. Uh, that girl 84. Hi all. Hey, what's up, that
hey,
girl?
what's up, that girl?
Thank you for joining us. All right, Mr. Lee. The mic's all yours again. Go ahead.
I think around the same time too. I think I might have seen a Dogman on that same highway on 602. So heading
Mm,
out south of Gallup. But
huh?
it was right before you get to that Continental Divide, that electric company.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh,
oh,
damn,
go
that's
ahead.
just right there. That's just right on the outside. Not really on the outside, huh? The
Yeah.
Continental. Wow. Okay.
But yeah, it was like around 11 o'clock at night. We are taking a friend home. Yeah, we're taking a friend home, and everybody was kind of like tired, and I was the only one who was awake. So I was driving, and we're going up that hill towards Continental Divide. And we got about halfway up the hill, and I noticed there was like a black dog on the side of the road. It was like on the shoulder, and then it like I slowed down, and it started like creeping across the road, and just the way it moved, the arms seemed longer than it should have been,
Mm.
and the body was like stretched out like half of the lane, like since there's a center line and the line for the shoulder, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of covering the whole thing. And I was thinking to myself, that's too big to be a regular dog. And then I looked at my ex at the time. I looked at her, and then she looked back at me, and then she's like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then just then I looked back at the road, and it crept across the side, the opposite lane. It went to the other side of the road, and we drove past it.
Mm.
And just when I drove past it, I seen the glowing yellow eyes. And
Oh,
I asked her, did you like see any features off of it? And then she just told me that it looked like a black shadow to her, but to me it looked exactly like a dog, like standing on, like standing up basically.
mm.
And it didn't look like a skinwalker or anything. I mean, I know what a skinwalker would look like, even if it did be in its transformation stage, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. That's one thing we're trying to, break down too. The difference, such a intermix between the skinwalkers and your dogmen,
Yeah,
the werewolves. So, uh, that's one thing we try to break down is the difference. The one would you would consider your shape shifting wolf man. The other one would be your Navajo witches. Witchcraft.
yeah,
Maitso, right?
Yeah.
Maitso, Dogman. That's how we would say that in our language, right? Maitso. Um, yeah, like I heard like the ones that are shape shifting, that are like a tall werewolf, but it has Navajo kilt in a bag, and they'll be
Yeah.
doing like
Yeah.
they'll be speaking. So I've heard that one before,
Mm.
and um, I've also like what happened to my uncle. He used to sing in different areas all the time, and I guess when they were trying to get into the SUV, they said they seen a big white dog walking around, and it came up to him, and it touched him on his side of his gut, and it was a big old white handprint on his gut of his
Well,
shirt.
yeah. That's
So yeah, some weird stuff like that
yeah.
goes on.
That's one thing. That's it's kind of odd, but that's not the first time. The how would you say these werewolves be wearing clothes? It's weird. I had one man tell me that he was wearing the Navajo attire. It had jewelry on, bracelets. Even had the little moccasins on, and what he was saying was he chased it. He chased it across the corner of his house, and what he says, I when I crossed that corner, he seen that dog. It jumped up and it jumped in through a portal in the ground. So that's south of Gallup too. So who knows?
Yeah, that's yeah. Sorry, Darren. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's south of Gallup. I'm not sure. It's one of those little towns between Gallup and Shiprock. One of those towns where that happened at. So
well, I did mention that there was a dogman in the real, or not, Tohatchee actually.
hmm,
So
well, what do you?
What's the story on that one?
Yeah, what's the story on that?
this it's just my coworker. He told me that there's a dogman that lives under that bridge, in Tohatchee, and every now and then you'll see it come down to the bridge, and then it'll go back up into the mountains when it's
Hmm.
like, I guess, in going home or something.
Yeah,
But he says it
um,
stays under there.
yeah. I hope to get more stories like these on the Navajo Nation. Um, so if anybody seen one, has some information on it, hit us up and we'll do
Yep.
something with it for sure.
Yep. You can look for us Facebook group, Don't Whistle at Night Podcast, and then Don't Whistle at Night at gmail.com, or right here down here at the bottom, information at don'twhistleatnight.com.
Mm.
and fill out the contact information to get a hold of us. Real quick here, let's say hi to everybody really fast here. Ben 90, what's that in the back?
Oh, that's a UFO.
I don't
I don't
know.
know if you're talking about my
Yeah,
side or
yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. His is
yeah.
buried over there. You don't want to know what. Yeah, right here. Hey, thank you, Z Sun Dragon, for saying hello to everybody. Thank you. Hey, Kim Sanchez, what's up? We got a pink poop filter. Nice, thank you. Some good stories, probably having them slide out that color. No, I was just kidding. AZ Lyman 47 on the podcast, The Confessionals. Tony interviews a guy who shot a dogman looking in his window, but Homeland Security approached and he said he killed their asset. Oh, his latest show. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had a lady tell me a story that she seen a gray one. It was all gray. It was over 6 foot tall. It came in to her residence. The dogs were barking, and it ripped up her dog right in front of her,
Oh man.
and it took off, and she couldn't do anything. It was her dog, and the Navajo Rangers came. The Men in Black came, and they covered it up. They told her no, it wasn't a dog, man. It was a bear that you seen. They destroyed all the evidence and the cameras. She said it was. I think it was on camera as well. Said it was really big, tall, gray dog man, and that's what we keep running into is the Navajo Rangers covering up. So I'm like, jeez. But Mr. Lee, go ahead.
Well, I guess since we're on the topic of Dogman, I can tell you about my uncle seeing like a hyena type creature around his house. That actually has been going on for maybe about a year and a half. And
Really?
normally he would tell me whenever he's kind of buzzy, so I always thought he was kind of just hallucinating about it. But last month he told me that it came by again, and he finally gave me like a real detailed description of it. And he said it looks just like a hyena, but standing up on two legs, and it looks brown and it has those spots on its back, and like towards the hind legs, it's kind of striped. And he sees it wandering around and digging through his trash, but it doesn't bother him. And even his dog is too scared to bark at it. And his dog is a pit bull too.
Wow.
It just kind of runs underneath the shed that he stays in, and it just kind of hides.
Yeah. How long has this been going on? Did he say, or when was the first time you ever talked about it, or was that his
Like I
first
said,
encounter?
like I said, he tells me stories whenever he's kind of buzzed, So,
Oh.
but he has been saying the same story for like the past year, about a year and a half now. So,
This is out there in the reservation too, right?
Yeah, it's in well, I don't want to give the exact location away, but it's north of Gallup. So,
Oh, okay. Dang. Yeah, we might have to get a map of the Navajo Nation, start putting red dots on everything where all these areas are.
yeah.
So far, almost all part of Navajo Nation has dots.
Right.
From the years doing this, I've been doing this for a while. So
Yeah,
places I've yet to take you guys, and
yeah. That's how it was. I was driving on, was it a I-40, and like, dang, I was sitting there trying not to tell, like, oh yeah, we're right over here. Seen some fairies, right on this side. They have those minotaurs or centaurs right there. So yeah, like, dang, dude, I was really surprised by how close everything actually is now. Especially with all the guests that we have on. So it gets pretty rowdy, man. It was pretty intense being back in the reservation again for the holiday.
Yeah. So that dog man, did he say like how tall it was?
Yeah, he said so he has like a little woodshed next, or where there's trash, where he burns his trash basically. That thing is like maybe 6 foot. Yeah, about 6 foot tall. So he said that the head was a little taller than that, so I'm guessing it's pushing about 7 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Has anybody else seen them, or was there any history of this?
Um, well, he lives next or close to my dad, so but honestly, the area that we live in, it's like a high paranormal area because like I said, there's a bunch of stories and stuff that's been happening in that area.
Hmm.
And I never seen it personally, so
Oh, well, go through the stories that they have. You know what kind of weirdness they have going on in this area.
well, I guess I could tell you one that kind of might have been it, but this happened uh, 10 years ago. My cousin, she was living down there with my uncle, but my uncle got arrested for a bench warrant, so she was the only one staying there.
You know,
And
it happens. It happens.
yeah, and she was the only one there, and I was going down there helping her chop woods, and I would go home. And one night she came up about 2 o'clock in the morning, and she came in screaming and crying, and my dad was trying to ask her what's going on and everything, and then she just kept saying um something broke the window, and then I was like, what the heck, like I was like more confused than scared, you know. And then my dad told me to get the gun and go down there. So me and my mom went down there with some flashlights, and she was too scared to go, but we had to lock up the door and everything, and she had the key. So we went down there, and she was telling us that she was sleeping and she was hearing the doorknob moving and something trying to push on the door. So that's what woke her up, and she said it was going on for like about 20 minutes, and then it stopped, and then she said she would hear it rubbing against the walls all the way around the house, and then eventually came back to the door and it kept trying to push it open, and then that's when she seen like the shape of it at the window, and just then she said she saw the hand touch the window, and it looked like a kind of like a person's hand but with long claws, and it was hairy, and she said it just smashed the window open. And she said she didn't hesitate. She knew it was right there at the window, and the window was like about 4 feet from the door. She didn't hesitate to like run out, and she ran up to our house at the time. She ran up there, and that's when she got us. But back to when we went down there, we were checking it out. I made sure it wasn't in the house and everything, and I was like kind of walking around. And just then, I kind of heard something on top of the hill. So I shined the flashlight up there, and I just saw a glimpse of something go behind a tree, and it like was like you're walking along the backside of that hill, but you can hear the rocks rolling around from where it was running it. And then, of course, I took a couple of shots up there, and nothing. It
Hmm.
didn't howl, it didn't make any noise or anything. And after that, that thing stopped coming by until I guess just recently.
Oh wow.
So,
they'll take a pause. Like my uncle, I don't know. He says it's the Skinwalker, but I think it's a Bigfoot that tried coming in. He got it with his rifle. 10 years, it didn't come by, and finally, um, I'll send you guys a picture on the group chat of the tracks we found. Right when we
Hmm.
were finishing our documentary, um, we looked down. I was telling my producer there's a cave down there. They always go down that way. They come from the east side. They come from the south side, north side. They all go down to this cave right here. I was describing that to him, and I was like, he comes right here, and I was taking him where he was going, and sure enough, there's tracks going 6 foot. There's a right track, and then 6 foot the left track, and it's a perfect line. It's like
Wow.
this. It's like a model, like how they're walking a runway perfectly. So I was like, oh man. So we got a picture of that, and I don't think it's gonna be in the documentary. But I'll share that with you guys in the group chat. Pretty cool. It had its feet's broken up, so that's how you would tell Bigfoot track compared to a fake one where it's like side by side.
Hmm.
And you know, Darren, you have any questions you want to ask Lee?
Oh no, not right now. Got the dogs barking, so I'm kind of just
Yeah,
guessing the
Kim.
house. So You know what
right
happens.
here.
Yeah.
Kim was like, "Hey, someone's dog's barking." I'm like, I don't know. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
But
I
all
apologize.
right, Mr.
Apologize for
Lee.
that.
Oh, that's
So,
all good.
uh,
So, Mr.
do you guys
Lee,
see lights in
go ahead.
this? You
Oh,
guys see lights in the sky or anything like that? I know back at the house too. Every once in a while, you'll get a door rattle. Late at night, everybody's quiet and sleeping. You would sit there and just hear that the door the door handle move around, dude. So uh, right now we do have cameras up. Um, so whatever it is, hopefully we catch it, and if we do, we'll probably most likely share it with you guys. So uh, right now, thinking about getting a camera for the truck too. So especially with these grid side sightings, it's always a good thing to have backup. So
oh yeah. Sony digital recorder too. Go to
there,
Best Buy, get that. Just push replay, leave it out. Get a laptop, or you can go through with some earphones and you can listen to it. It's a really great tool to have. That's
mm,
how we got some skinwalkers speaking around Kaibito one time. There's a lady
well,
and two dudes. You can hear distinct voices. Creepy.
was it just
Some creepy
was that
things
just
that
out
I
in the middle
won't
of nowhere
share.
too, or
Huh?
was that just out
What
in the
was that?
middle of nowhere too? You just set a recorder down?
Out outside of my father in law's in Kaibito, I slept in the van, and I showed up really late. There was a Sasquatch yelling around the community, and I showed up last year during the summer or two. Yeah, last year during the summer, I showed up and I just left the Sony recorder recording, and I was trying to stay awake, and I fell asleep within minutes. When I fell asleep, there was wood knocking, and then there was voices around the van as I was snoring. You can hear an old lady and two male speaking outside. They're whispering. You can't really hear what they're
Uh,
saying. So it just sent sent a lot of the creepy vibes up my spine. I was like, oh man, this whole time I was snoring away. But
yeah.
Lee, go ahead, take us into your next story.
I don't know if it's a Bigfoot or the same creature, the Dogman or the hyena creature, but um back in 2004, um we lost 10 sheep. They were
Whoa.
they were killed and stacked up in the corner of the corral, and there was 10 of them that were killed and 16 of them that were injured, like their their hide pulled off and scratches along their face and everything, even bite marks on their legs.
Hmm.
And the story about that was that my mom went outside to grab my dad's thermos from his truck because he was getting ready for work and he was getting ready to take off. So as she went outside, she noticed that the dogs were barking up at the sheep corral. So she kind of went inside. She just told him that I'm gonna go check on the sheep, and she grabbed her light and she walked up there. And we had this little house for the hay and where we would put the little lambs at when they were born in the winter. And she didn't see the sheep stacked up because of that. And as she walked up to the corral, she shined a light and she seen like a brown animal jump out from the back of the corral. And she didn't see how big it was. She just saw the brown flash and it took off up the hill. And then that's when she seen all the sheep piled up in the corner. And
Oh,
she freaked out and she went back down and she told my dad. And then my dad didn't believe her until he went up there. And they sent me to school and then I came back and then that's when I was kind of listening to them talking. And that was when I was barely understanding Navajo. So I just kind of got a little bit of info just standing there listening. And what they were saying was they were saying it was a mountain lion that did it. But as I seen the sheep, it was like some areas where the heart would be was like ripped out, and
hmm.
Oh,
along the legs there was like scratches, like four scratch marks along the stomach, and all the intestines were coming out and everything, and scratches along their face, and it was brutal, and it looked like a real crime scene.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it was
And
part it wanted. and knew what part
Yeah.
it was. Like I've been hearing stories like that from different parts of the res. Sheep's always piled up in the corner. Like sometimes they would go for the blood, and sometimes
Yeah.
they would go for the back area. And then sometimes they would pull out the sockets of the back leg of the sheep, and they would crush the nose area for some reason. And then like some of the sheep, they would like bury it, kind of like half, like burying it not all the way. And they would
Yeah.
see fingers in the dirt like this,
Hmm.
trying to dig it, trying to bury it. So they have patterns like that, and it's how you can tell, Sasquatch. And sometimes like Navajo Mountain, they'll just walk over the corral and just grab a whole sheep and just walk back off.
Hmm.
But
Mhm.
on the other side, sounds like they're just slaughtering them. I don't know, unless the west side.
Yeah.
We're really more quiet on the west side. But yeah, go ahead, sorry.
But as my parents called the Rangers came by and they assessed the situation and everything, and they just ruled it as mountain lion. So they went up to the canyon that's behind our house, basically on our land. They set up some traps and everything, and they caught a bobcat. And this is like a 70-pound bobcat. And they were saying that that's what did it. And I was
Hmm.
thinking, how can it do that? Like stack everything up in the corner, and
Right.
those sheep were like maybe about 200 or 300 pounds. So, and it wasn't up until I seen JC Johnson's videos of those um what was it called, Bloodless Horror or something like that on YouTube, where
Yeah.
he showed the same thing where the sheep were attacked and they were just piled up in the corners and stuff like that. And that's what made me realize that we weren't the only ones that it was doing it to. But even to this day, we still don't have an answer for what did it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Man,
It's
that reminds
very-
me. Oh wait, whoa, 1 second. That just reminds me. I take back what I said earlier. There is a family in Lecce, Arizona that we got on the documentary. The kids seen what they did to the sheep they slaughtered. I think 13. And then what they
Mm.
did was they had the back legs up, and then they would poke it, and then they would drain the whole blood out and throw it in the corner and pile them up. And they'd be doing that. They'd be puncturing 3 holes while the bigger one is doing that. They would see a baby Sasquatch on the side drinking the blood while it's looking at the kids in the trailer. And
Hmm.
then when it's done, they said that they would jump out of the corral 30 feet and jump 30 feet. With each jump, they'd be 30 feet, and then they'll be running away. They said with
Whoa.
each step looked like 15 feet. They went out there and did the measuring. They said it was running super fast and it was jumping. They said it looked like I don't know if you've seen the first Hulk movie. Remember when he's
Yeah.
running and he's jumping far? They said look just like that. They said
Hmm.
he stopped within a few seconds. He turned around. He said it was like a mile away in a few seconds. They said this thing was huge and had hair. They said the hair was covering its face. They said when I looked at him, they couldn't really see its eyes, but they can see its mouth though. That's in Lecce, Arizona. Um, one quick second here. Let's catch up with the comments right here. We're getting behind already. Some good stories right here. BCast 33. It's res dogs tired of starving, so they evolved. Probably, maybe. Oh yeah, Kim. That's Darren. That's
Yeah.
Darren's dogs. I was just kidding. They just want Darren. That's all. Hey Darren, why are you in the room? You need help? Nah. BCast 33. Mom and aunt grew up in the eastern side of Navajo, and they talked about a dog with 2 legs stalking them. Ooh, that is kind of unsettling right there. That is unsettling. Which reminds me, I have an uncle that passed away last year. Rest in peace. He told me a story one time. I just brushed it off, but he said that like whenever he would come back from the city, Salt Lake, he was raised. He would come back from the city and he would always take off, leave us kids behind. He was an older teenager. And I always wondered why. So it turns out that he went off to go, with his the devil's lettuce. He'd be going off doing his thing. And then one time he was coming back, he was kind of freaking out. And then he told us a few kids. He's like, "You guys want to know what I saw?" I was like, "Yeah." What did you see? He's like, when I was going that way, by the mesa. He said he was about to start to crawl up. He said there's this little wash area. He said when he was getting into the wash, he walked up on a dog laying on its back, and he said this dog way it was laying had his arms crossed over like this behind his back, and he said his foot was out and they're crossed like this. He said he was laying underneath the tree. It was like that, chilling. It was just chilling. And he said
Whoa.
he stopped. That dog looked at him and it went back on all fours and it took off out of there, ran down the wash. So I
Well,
was like, "Oh snap!" Yeah. Well, oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's read this one right here. Hello, Don, Darren, and Lecedric. Are you guys ready for Christmas? Or are you guys getting cold in your stockings? Just kidding.
We're all getting cold.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone deserves cold these days.
yeah,
So
getting
do
cold.
I. Oh yeah. Crazy Coyote, the dogs. Hey fool, there's a Skinwalker, Big Man, Dogfoot, Pennywise out here. We need backup.
Well,
Help.
yeah, I think we might need to interview a couple of these res dogs. I'm pretty sure they got some gnarly stories to
Oh,
tell.
we have to wait till the end days. My grandpa, he said that towards the end days, the animals will start speaking again. Like from
Yep.
the last world, when we escaped the last flood into this world, they couldn't speak like us, but they'll get it back again. So that's one of the signs of the end days, the Navajo. I'm pretty sure you heard something like that too, Lee.
Yep.
Well, we'll ask you more on that either this episode or next episode. But just hang on. Crazy Coyote. Oh, Luke Trading Post is haunted by a ghost of a little girl.
Huh.
Ooh, a Balagana or a Navajo little girl. Interesting. The Jonah Yeja. Poor sheep. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely poor guys. Kenny, good evening from Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, what's up,
What's up,
Kenny? Thank you for joining us. Melody Alvarez, hey, what's
Molly?
up? Ronan, 1776. Any Dogman stories from Arizona? Oh, you just missed it. We shared some. You can go back when this episode's over and rewatch. Theodore Cat Joey. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. Hey, what's up, Theodore? All right. Mr. Lee, go ahead. It's all you again.
Mm, I guess we'll get into Skinwalker stories.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You say Skinwalkers as many times as we want here. TikTok Skinwalkers. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I know it's not as sensitive as TikTok, so but these stories are from my dad. They happened way back in the 80s. So one of them he said that he was coming home and this was before the road got paved towards our house and he actually got stuck. I would say about maybe 3, 4 miles away from our house, and it was snowing at the time, so he couldn't make it out of that mud. And he just decided to sleep inside the truck. And as he was doing so, he said that sometime in the night something shook the truck, and he woke up, and he thought it was someone that was like passing by or somebody that drove by and might have hit the truck or something. And he woke up and he was looking around, then he didn't see anything, and he said he was ready to go to sleep again. And just then he opened his eyes and he looked at the driver's side window and he seen what looked like a coyote standing up. And then he said it turned sideways and he saw the pelt hanging down and he saw the face and it was just painted black, but then there was like yellow lines right here on his face.
Hmm.
And he said it was trying to open the door on him. And then just then he said he kicked the door and it freaked out because he didn't think anybody was in there, I'm assuming. So once he kicked the door, it kind of jumped back and it was just like kind of looking at him. And then he said that he yelled at it. He said in Navajo, but
Excuse me.
he told it to leave him alone. He said
Excuse me.
bless
Oh.
you. And then he said that
Talking about me. Go ahead. Sorry.
it's probably Sancho. But he said that they kind of just looked at him and kind of like just backed up. and it went to the other side where his head was. So it went to the passenger side. And my dad said he sat up in the middle and he was just kind of looking at it. And he said he started the truck up and he made it seem like he was like about to take off or something, but that thing was just kind of like sitting there and just like watching him. Since he slid off towards the side of the road, he was sitting on the side of the hill. And about 20, 30 minutes or something like that, it just wandered off. But then he said he tried to get out of the mud, and then eventually he got out and he made it home. But then that night the dogs were going crazy when he got home, so he was saying that it probably followed him home. And then I think about the same time too, about maybe a couple months later, he was dropping off one of his friends at home, and he lives past from where we live. And of course, again they got stuck. But then there was three of them this time, and then they were digging the mud out and everything. And he said that he finally got traction, so he was leaving, and then he had to slow down again for his buddies to get back in the truck. And then all three of them were sitting in the truck and they were driving. And then just then something jumped on the back of the truck where the tailgate is. Something jumped on there, and he stepped on the brake, and the brake like lit it up. And he said it was the same thing. There was a person painted black, and it had a coyote pelt hanging from his head, and it was just like jumping on his truck, rocking it back and forth. And his buddies were buzzing. They were like joking around, saying that Skinwalker was probably helping them get out of the mud. So, but after that happened, it jumped off and it took off. And then he said that he had to go around towards Church Rock area to come home because he didn't want to go through there again because you never know if it was waiting for him again. But those are a couple of stories that he told me about.
Oh man!
Oh, this is the first time I heard black paint. Most of the time it's white paint, usually covered with white paint. Black, that's that's a different one.
That's the second time I heard a black one.
Right.
For me is I heard a black one with white or black with yellow, and then some of them were like yellow with red, designs and symbols. One I seen his was white, and he had some weird symbols on his face. It was black.
Well, then again, we had even on our Halloween special. Mary brought up one with the black red face. It's painted.
Oh
red.
yeah,
and
she knew who it was.
Yeah, she had. It was covered with red coral. Coral necklace. So,
That's pretty crazy because I know back in the day we used to have like a red line across like right here, and that's like red ochre for like for our sun protection and also for us to travel at night, and that would ward off the genies, the bad spirit at night, and it would ward off Sasquatch as well. That would identify us as meh. That's one of the stories I heard from that red. But that's when she told that story, I was like, "What? I never heard of that before." But we have a quick question. Hey, thank you, Najonia. And she said, "How fast was he going? Or you don't know, huh? Must have been going pretty fast."
Well, he wasn't going too fast because he was going in the mud. So,
right,
yeah, didn't want to get his moccasins all muddy. Just jumped on in.
Maybe that's what it was.
Like the one I heard when you're going towards Kienta, there's just that one pipe that used to come down from Black Mesa, and there's a story of this one chick. She's driving with her high beams on. She's seen a figure standing up top, and as she went under, I guess her truck went boom, and as she felt the weight, she looked back in the rearview mirror. It was the person that she seen up there. It was in the back of the bed of her truck. It was in there all the way until the intersection where it goes to Black Mesa, and it jumped off. She said right there, that intersection. So there used to be a lot of scary stories like that tied to there. But yeah, go ahead, Mr. Lee.
Something similar like that happened to my mom actually too. There was when I was born. What she told me was that my dad gave her some money to go into Gallup to get some groceries, and he was at home with me, and she was coming back, and there's this little bridge you have to cross when you're going back up towards our house, and along that bridge there's like a kind of like a, I guess you would say, a small mountain, and she was driving next to it. As soon as she passed the bridge, she was driving next to it, and she said something jumped on top of the car, and she was driving one of those old Trans Ams, with the T top, with the window on top. And it was she looked up and she said she saw somebody standing, or not standing, but holding onto the roof of the vehicle, and she said it was wearing like a long black trench coat and just had like a cowboy hat on. And then she stepped on it, and she said she was driving about maybe 30, 40 miles, and it was still holding on until she stepped on the brake, and it slid off, but then it didn't slide off in front of her. It slid off to the side. And then she said she hurried up and took off after that. And then she got home and she told my dad about it. And then my dad told her, okay, from now on, I'm not going to let you drive no more at night because something similar might happen to her. And it wasn't until she watched that movie, Jeepers Creepers. And she said it looked just like that, just a figure way with it was with the trench coat and the cap, that round cap. She said it just looked like that. And to this day, she thinks it's Jeepers Creepers that jumped on top of her car.
Well,
I believe so too. There's been stories like that off of TikTok from multiple people seeing Jeepers Creepers, even down to being at a cornfield and disguising itself as a scarecrow and trying to take the kids and the grandparents. And they had to have cedar, and they had to have an arrowhead to ward it off, and it was laughing at them when they're trying to pray, and it was walking around the hogan. The craziest stories from this guest that I'm going to bring on next year on that Jeepers Creepers, and Darren has heard of that Jeepers Creepers stories as well. And I don't know, it could be the hat man, the trench coat and the cowboy hat, or it could be that Jeepers Creepers guy. And then there's a gargoyle type being too that's flying around, and their feet has like it's sharp claws, and where the ankles are, it has like a talon. That's what the descriptions are of that creature. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And then I forgot to mention earlier, but when Darren was talking about lights in the sky, one time me and my ex were going out to my dad's house, and it was like around 11 o'clock at night, and we were driving, and it was like no moonlight or nothing, and I just happened to look up, and there was this little area. It kind of narrows into a canyon, and I saw like flashing lights. I thought it was a police car out in the distance, and as we got closer, it wasn't. It was a flashing red or blue. It was more flashing like a greenish yellow and white color, and it was like kind of circular. And then it was, I would say, like about maybe the size of a semi truck, I would say. And it was just like floating maybe about a 200-300 feet off the ground, and then within like a split second it just shot up in the air. And then we both looked at each other like, is that what we just seen? Like, we were so confused of what it was. And I got up to my dad's house, and then we told him about it and everything, and my mom actually told me a story about when she was little. She was home alone with her grandma at the time, out towards Metmore area, so west of Gallup. And she said that there was the same thing, same kind of description that I gave her. It was right above their house, and it was just kind of floating. And they thought it was like an airplane or something, but there was no noise. It was just like hovering above their house, moving house to house. And she said that it went on for like a good 5 to 10 minutes, and it disappeared again. And then the next day on the radio station, they were saying that it was like a weather balloon that was up in the air, but then people around in the area, the neighbors and everything, they were saying that it wasn't a weather balloon. They actually saw that thing too.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, these lights in the skies, man. It's kind of strange that people don't report so much stuff with lights in the sky. Everybody goes outside and sees stuff. Even yesterday I was out there in Flagstaff, and I noticed the a bright star, and it kept on going. Just like it was just blinking. Go on and then go off. And it's like, as far as I've been on this earth, I never really stars. I never seen stars do that. So
yeah,
I actually took a recording of it. It's just right there in the middle of Flagstaff too. So uh, that's for what it is. Who knows, man? Who knows?
That's where the holy people landed as well on that Flagstaff Mountains.
Hmm.
They landed. Um, that's where they said the Navajo and the Hopi wolf went up the mountain to greet them. And both made different deals with them. That's one of the
Hmm.
stories I've heard. Some pretty interesting stuff. Real quick here, let's see here. Carla Washington, 3069. Have you guys heard of rare metals? Yeah, yeah, outside of Tuba. Like one story, my wife's aunt told me she lives in Tuba, and she told me the story. She's going to going to Navajo Mountain, and it was around 11 o'clock at night. She got past Rare Meadows, right when she was escaping out of those housing areas where it used to be. She said she seen a big old wolf get onto the road. She said it was a big wolf, and what was weird about it was giving off a whole bunch of light. She said it looked like a cartoon. She said there
Hmm.
was this anime character cartoon of a big wolf that was like really bright. She said it looked mystical, and it looked towards her, and it continued on its way. It jumped over the fence, and it was continue its way to Hopi land. And
Oh,
she's like, "That's a skinwalker." She's like, "That was no wolf. That was no mystical creature out of an anime." Because her grandkids are into anime. She's like, "That was not animated mystical being. That was a skinwalker." But yeah, that's one of the stories on Rare Meadow. And Z Sun Dragon 6461. I have a question. I recall a reader book we had in school, and it had a picture of a raven with ruby red with a red ruby in its beak. Does anyone know the significance of that picture? Ooh, I don't know. I
no,
gotta see.
no, no.
I don't know either.
There's
Not on our side.
oh man, yeah, yeah. Rare Meadows. There's a lot of stories I've heard about the area, but yeah, Mr. Lee, go ahead and what other stories would you like to share with us? Or Darren, you have any questions for Mr. Lee?
Oh no, not at the time. No, just just taking in the air and listening to Mr. Lee right here.
Oh yeah, little wolf. Well, that's a creepy story about a dog your uncle saw. R.I.P. your uncle. Oh yeah, rest in peace. Uh, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Lee. The mic's all yours.
And then I might have seen another one on my way to Page. That was when I was working out in Kaibito. And then I know I told you about this too, Don. That it's like a shiny reflective light on top of the mountain west of Page. But I
Oh
got off work
yeah.
and then yeah, I was heading towards Page back to the hotel. And as I was driving, I just happened to look towards the west and just the angle of the sun and whatever it was didn't correlate, you know. But I can't even like describe how big that thing was, but it was shining bright like a reflective, like the way you would use a mirror in the sun, and it was like shining towards the east towards us. And I know I wasn't the only one because the driver in front of me kept looking towards the west too. And as we got closer to Page, you know how it kind of straightens out going west just before you hit that gas station coming into Page from Kaibito. But you can still see it right there. And then all of a sudden it's just like turning off a flashlight. It just went off.
Hmm.
And even to this day, I don't know what it was. And I haven't heard any stories about it yet, but I know I'm pretty sure Don, you have.
Yeah, we
Oh
did
yeah.
have a guest. We did have a guest on before, and they talked about Seen lights in the sky too outside the Flagstaff or Page in that area too. Uh, so whatever's out there, it's out there. So
They have a flight pattern that they stick to that you witness. What they always come out of the mountain, and Navajo Mountain that is, and they come out on the east side that faces towards Navajo Nation. They come out one of those caves. There's multiple caves. One's the Skinwalkers. I can say it on here. The one's the Skinwalker caves belongs to them, and the other one belongs to Sasquatch. Then there's another one that belongs to Spider Woman. So multiple cave entrances with the Hollow Earth axis, like a lot of points on the southwest. I think Apache Land has the same thing too. And they come out of one of those caves in the east, and it goes down towards the east, and it makes it turn to the south, and it goes right over Inscription House. And when it gets towards the Crossroads gas station, it makes the turn to the west right there, and it goes over the highway, and it goes towards Kaibito. That right there, on its routine route, it came down and it abducted two individuals from two trailers that were separated that my wife and I witnessed. And so this is that same route, and they're going right over White Mesa, and they fly right over the community of Kaibito, and they continue all the way down towards Page and on down to Grand Canyon. They never come that way. They always are going down that way. And whenever they're going that way, you always see a government helicopter that's all blacked out that gives no light patterns. You just hear flying after it, tailing it every time. So they know certain times it goes, they stick to a pattern, and the government knows. So they know a lot of things that we do that we don't actually. And Darren, do you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Lee?
yeah, it's kind of the aliens and the government usually work together. That's one thing I believe at it. So whatever they're doing it together. That I come to believe. So
Ant people. That's the ant people. There's just one video where they showed this tribes in the Amazon, the aliens. Like, what do you call these guys in your culture? Like, oh, that's the ant people. They're like, what do you mean the ant people? They're like, they live beneath us. And when you're down there, you contact it. When you contact them, and when you deal with them too much, they will take you deeper into the earth, and they will never see you again. That's what the Amazon tribesmen said. Pretty interesting video. And we got to get a Hopi member on here and really tell us about the ant people. I've heard all kinds of different things on the ant people, and I've researched it as well. And I would rather have them explain that themselves. But 1 second here. Let's see here. I've heard that Shipwreck was a ship that brought the Diné from the north. I've also heard that other conflicting stories. Do you guys know any other stories about Shipwreck? What about you, Lee? Have you heard anything from Shipwreck?
Just that Thunderbird used to live on Shiprock.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. I was waiting for someone to say that because my grandpa used to tell me that too. But go ahead. I want to hear you.
From what my stepmom told me was that Thunderbird used to live on there, and he used to hunt the sheep and the horses in the area up until it disappeared. And she never told me like where it went, but she knows mainly because her family is from Sanasti area, and one of her grandpas out there was a medicine man, and like a real powerful medicine man. So he knew all these stories about the area, and she even told me about that mountain that's east of there, east of Shiprock. It kind of looks like hogbacks. She told me that's one of the snakes, one of the monsters that the monster slayers killed. It's one of the snakes that are right there, and that's why when you look at it, it kind of looks like a snake's body coming out of the ground. That's where it lay down and it died. It's kind of what she told me.
Ooh,
Yeah, you hear a couple of these stories too. Even outside of Flagstaff, is there's lava flow out here in the shape of a lizard, and that's one of the monsters that the monster slayers got to. So yeah, just right here in Flagstaff too. Since we're here,
yeah. One of my grandpa, he said that he told me a story that the old Navajos back in the day, same thing, the Thunderbird, used to go around, same thing, pick up livestock, and then it would also pick up Navajos. You know, like the old days, it would pick up the old Navajos, take them up there, and it would devour them up top. Then same thing, like the two warriors that came in, they went and slayed the one of the monsters up top of there, and that whole streak on the ground where it uplift. I think has a story tied to that. I can't really remember. I think that's where they said they shot it with one of its arrows. Like, some of these stories that we got to brush up on. A lot of times flown by, and we made a lot of unwise decisions growing up. Putting stuff in our bodies that kind of like put our brains, help to forget some things in
yeah,
certain stories and
yeah, it
encounters.
happens, man. It happens. But
Yeah.
even out there in Shipwreck too, that's I was told that was the birth area of where the Navajos crawled out of the ground too, right there in that area, right beside Shipwreck Mountain.
Oh man, I heard that in Grand Canyon, like the emergent stories, like in the Grand
Mm,
Canyon. Like the Navajos on the east side have more the Zuni influence. Then the Navajos on the west side have more of the Hopi influence. Then the Navajos on the north side, where I come from, we have more of the Noa the Ne, which is my clan on both my grandparents. So I'm basically you, but we all identify as Navajos. We're all mixed.
mm,
We're all under one banner. But 1 second here before we move on. Right here, little Wolf C13. TikTok is cool, Don. No, it isn't. TikTok's too sensitive.
Nope.
Carla Washington, 3069. Don, I lived in Rare Meadows back in the day. Yep, there was some weird stuff that happened there. Well, Carla, I'm still waiting for you to shoot us an email. I would like to hear more about that Rare Meadows. Tuba City has some scary stories. I know that. I would like to
sure,
hear more of those stories.
sure.
Um, Nishona Yeja, I'm enjoying my evening here with double D's and Gigi Lips. Oh yeah, yeah. We're trying not to have him talk too much. You might start a fire over there. No, just kidding.
I
Drink some
moisturize.
water. Moisturize the lips. ECast 33. What do you guys know about Spider Woman? Oh man, I know a location where she's possibly currently at, but I need you, BCast, to come down here, human bait, to draw out the 5 foot giant spiders, and then we can go in while you run down the other tunnel. So BCast, whenever you're ready, we need human bait, bro. Uh, Crazy Coyote. These sound like case of prehistoric birds, giant eagles, vultures, hawks. I have seen a prehistoric vulture when I was 12 years old. It was eating a horse, and it was a giant vulture. I
Well,
seen that in Douglas Mesa area. It scared the living crap out of me. Let's see here, Crazy Coyote seen a giant bird that way, too big to be an eagle out here in Fountain, Colorado. Oh man, most likely. Lee, you told me a story of that once too, huh? You said you saw a big old shadow, a big old bird fly by over you one time, right?
Mm, no, I think that was
Jeez.
someone else.
Okay, all
But I
right.
did tell you that
But,
there's an area where close to where me and my dad live, but I'm not gonna give the English name, but I'll say the Navajo name. It's called Sechi, and there's a from what my grandma told me was that on that mountain there's a eagle that used to live up there, and she said that was when she was young, so I'm assuming 70 years ago. She said he used to come from up there and take off with little lambs and even little horses, the little colts that were around the area, and he used to take them up there. And she said that people have tried to go up there and find it, but there was people that actually went up there, actually got sick from it, and then a couple even passed away from it. So she always told us never go up that mountain. Even if you bring an offering or something, she said never go up there. That's one of the areas that you're not supposed to be at.
Man,
Well,
sounds like a portal. Whenever they tell you that, whenever they say don't stay off that, usually means either Bigfoot's there or there's a portal. Like in oh, that's another story, but I'll let you. Yeah, usually probably there's a portal up there, and I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Yeah,
But
and then even there, that little spring that's close to my dad's house too. It's called Toast Bay, and there's a water serpent that lives in there. And the same grandma too. She said she was sheep herding right there when she was younger, and she said there was this old sheep that had trouble, so she would always have to follow it and like kind of make sure it finds its way back to the herd. But she left the herd up there at that spring, and they were drinking water, and then she said she finally managed to get that old sheep up to the top of the mountain and everything. And well, by the time she got there, she seen what looked like a giant snake come out of the water and pull one of the little goats in, and it pulled it into the water. And then she said she ran over there and she seen it dragging it to the back of the spring and pulling it underneath. And that's the same thing that my mom told me about when she was in that area too, when she was herding sheep. And she, for some reason, she went in that water and she slipped and she happened to slide underneath that little cavern that leads to the bottom. And while she was down there, she said that there was like something swimming in the water, and it looked like a giant snake, she said. And she happened to find her way up, and then she crawled out, and she said that she never went back there. And she would tell me the same thing. She would tell me never go over there. And then me and my cousins, we would always kind of sneak away from her when we were herding sheep when we were younger, and we would go over there, and we would be throwing water in there, or throwing rocks in the water. And there was this one time where we threw a big rock in there, and I noticed that there was something from where that little part that goes underneath into the caverns. There was something poking its head out from right there, and there was bubbles coming up from right there.
Hmm.
And then I noticed that, and I kind of remembered the warnings that my grandma and my mom gave me. So I told my cousins, "Let's go now." And then it's kind of a good thing because I don't know what it was. It might have been that snake, and we probably would have got taken or something. So
yeah. Oh, man, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool though.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's-
like what normal Reds kids would be doing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of an odd thought too. That most of these water out here in the reservation, even on our side, it's so dry that it seems like the water is even being protected. For water serpents, even Page out there too. So now we got some snakes. It's not. We had a couple of them talk about giant snakes like that too. So
That's
my
pretty
mom even
insane.
seen what she was saying is like a 12-foot rattlesnake.
Oh
Um,
man,
yeah, one time she was coming to the bus stop to pick me up, and she was taking the back road, and she said that she thought it was like a pipe laying across the road, and she got out of the truck and she started walking over there to pick it up and move it out of the way. But then she got like, I would say like 5 feet or so, and she heard like the rattle, like the from a rattlesnake, but it was really loud. She said it was like putting a rattle next to your head, like a baby rattle. It was putting it next to
man.
your ear. And then she said she stepped back and she looked around. There was nothing near her, and she looked up at that pipe. And then she said she noticed that it was moving, and that's when she saw the diamonds on its back. And then she said she backed away to where the truck was parked. As it crossed, she said the size of the rattle was about maybe 4 or 5 inches long.
whoa.
And she said it went into the bushes that were right there, and she seen it coiled up. And she said it looked like 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 a fireman hose, like the way they roll it up and stuff.
Mm.
And she said the head was the size of like a frying pan. And she said it was ready to strike at her, so she hurried up and jumped in the truck and she backed up. And then she took off and she never went on that road again for about a year or so. So
That's disturbing. Really disturbing.
When it comes to snakes and spiders, I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
getting stories of giant spiders and giant snakes, man. What else is out there? I think we even had one about a giant toad.
Hollow Earth. That's what I keep saying. Is like, dude, man, there's things that's bigger down there. I believe that because like when you look at the Navajo Rangers, one of their documentaries, they actually were in cave systems, huge ones. Like they said, there was like miles by miles. The dimensions are crazy. They said these things are huge down there. There's holes and tunnels underneath us. And they only discovered so much because it's so big, and they didn't have enough cave diving equipment to explore it, so they left it. So now they advise everyone on Navajo land stay away from caves. Don't even go down there. You know, pretty good stuff. You guys take advantage. No, just kidding. They're gonna be blocking us. Let's see here. Kenny, right here. Do y'all have any Centaur stories? Oh, Kenny, you got to go back to a few of our episodes. We have some Centaurs down here in the Southwest, and I don't know if Mr. Lee has any, but there's a lot down in his area, in my area as well. Crazy
I've
Coyote.
never seen any.
Oh yeah, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
We'll see it, and if we crap ourselves, we'll show pictures of our underwear. We're like, hey, this is real. This is how real it is. Boom. See that skid mark?
Skid mark, yeah.
Crazy Coyote. See, I told you, reptiles. Their only rule is grow big and survive. They don't stop growing. J.C. Johnson covered giant black snakes in the San Juan River.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. San Juan River. I just love that river. My favorite river in the world. You scared Jody 1248. The largest oceans on Earth are underground. For real. For real. So we're 1 hour and 20 minutes getting into it. Mr. Lee, let's get into the topic of love spells, man. What can you tell us about that? Spell on you.
You already did earlier.
Right here. This I told little wolf. I said that whenever you're getting like afraid or shy or nervous, you make a upside down. You make a pyramid, and you put it upside down, or you can just fold your hands like this, and you make it upside down, and you just hold like this, and you just breathe, and that's like a technique, a calming technique, and that's how I get through, like when I get really mad, or I get upset or really sad, or I get shy, like because I'm not used to this, I'm a very introverted person, and this podcast is making Darren and I come out of our shells in the caves. So I'm always doing this all the time, like all right, just be friendly. So what can you tell us, brother?
Okay, so it's gonna be kind of hard without giving names out, but also to anybody that's in a part of the NAC, this is no disrespect to them. So, but from what I've seen and from the people that I helped, being a hand trembler, it was there was this guy that this lady actually that came to me for help. She said that she was trying to get out of a relationship with the man that she's been with for about 10 years or so. And this was like a really ugly relationship, and she's been trying everything to get out of it, and she finally left him, but then she started having dreams of him, and she started having nightmares of him standing outside of her window basically. And that's when she kind of like realized that there's something going on more deeper than what is going, and that's when she finally came to me. And as I was looking into the charcoal and the fire, and I was doing my thing to help her, it told me that he he used her hair and he put it with her belongings, and he put it inside of a like a medicine pouch, and he put it alongside the fire, and he was doing it in a type of NAC meeting kind of way. And the way I seen it was he was using a water drum to get back with her, and that's how he was using to appear in her dreams and um basically try to put another spell on her where she would come back. Because like I said, she tried leaving that relationship so many times, but she kept coming back. And after doing that for her, I managed to help her. So basically, making that medicine pouch lose itself. After that happened, give or take a month or so, she said that the nightmares, the dreams, and everything stopped, and she finally started getting that relief of him leaving her, basically. And there was even a point where, and after she left him, there was even a point where he even actually tried making her house catch on fire as she was cooking. Her and her granddaughter were in the kitchen, and they were making food, and the fire from the stove just lit up, and it almost caught the whole kitchen on fire. And of course, then she came to me and she asked me what was the purpose of that. And then after I helped her out and looked into the fire, that's the only person that came up was that guy, and he was doing it since the beginning of their relationship. So he was basically leeching off of her for 10 years, and she never realized it.
Well,
And then
so,
another person actually came up to me. Oh, I'm sorry, Darren, but another person actually came up to me um, with the same thing, but then she didn't really give too much details, and um, she said the same thing. The relationship was ugly, and she was trying to get out of it. And from what I seen in the fire again was that that guy actually gave her um, a red plant, and I'm not going to name the plant, so just for protection, you know. But he gave her that red plant with some dirt, and he actually somehow put it in her food and made her eat it, and that's what kind of put the love spell in a way. He put it on her, and she, like I said, she was head over heels for this guy, but then after a while started showing his true nature and everything, and for many years she was trying to get out of it. And from when I helped her, she started throwing up all that red dirt. She was throwing it up into the fire, and it got to the point where she was throwing up like red liquid again. And after she finally threw up everything, she started feeling a lot better. Like that weight that was on her and everything that was on her basically was leaving her. And then it got to the point where she was starting to see him in person at the window, standing at the window and watching her sleep. And even on the side of the road when she was driving in it, he would see her. So there are things that people do like that, and it's it's crazy because our tradition is crazy. They can use our good medicine for bad medicine as well.
oh yeah,
So
I heard a couple of them. Using hunting songs for the nightlife. That's
yeah,
one thing I hear a lot. Um, yeah, love. Makes you do weird stuff and even weirder stuff to try to keep it. Um, but this. I don't know how to go about it too with this because it's kind of a wicked thing to manipulate people like this. So uh, is there any tips that you would give people to avoid these love traps?
Keep your legs closed. No, just kidding.
well, I guess the only tip would be really is if you're trying to get out of it, and if you like believe in our traditional ways, come see a medicine man. Preferably like a hand trembler. They're the main ones that would really see if someone is putting something on you. And it's not just going to be traditional wise, like I mentioned. There's an NACY and NEC way, and I'm pretty sure there's another way from different tribes. But it's always best to get a second opinion. So you can't just feel it and be like, someone's putting a curse on me, you know?
Yeah, I know. Navajos, they're really kind of superstitious when it comes down to stuff like this. Sometimes it gets kind of gets out of hand sometimes with it. But,
Yeah.
but they're superstitious for a reason. I would say.
Oh yeah, I'll add a story to that after we catch up with these comments right here. It's for me, like hearing these stories. It's for me. I don't fear it. It's just like information, like of things that I know. Like it's just like wow, like more of a light will shine on that different parts of topics. You know what I mean? So I'm just like eureka over here. Like wow, all
Yeah,
right.
it's the
Well,
same thing with myself too. It's you hear these stories that I don't take them. I don't listen to them to get scared. Listen to them to information. There's these people are talking about information about certain areas, and most of these stories are just stories of warning. Instead of using the fear side, they're telling us a warning story.
Yeah.
Yep, and right here we got Crazy Coyote. If you're going to explore caves on the Navajo reservation, take a Smith and Wesson Governor 410 shotgun or Taurus Judge 410 gauge or 20 gauge shotgun. Those are revolver shotguns. Oh, definitely. And a FLIR camera so you can see the temperature of all the rocks, and if something's there or been there, you can see the temperature. I got that. It's a really good tool for you guys to have. Never going to be blind without that tool.
Yep. Yeah, I got one myself.
Heck yeah, we got to all meet up now. Little Wolf C13, haha. Yep, I'm going to try it out too. Upside down triangle. Oh yeah, upside down. That helps out. Little Wolf C13, we are some wicked introverts. Oh yeah, some of the best minds, interesting minds are introverts, like we are here. I know we're all blue collar workers. We're all introverts too, but we all connect over this topic, paranormal. This is what brings us all together. She comes back again. What a scary love spell story. Most definitely, man. Most definitely. YN Gilly. What's up, brother? Hey, what's up, YN Gilly? What's up? Well, he says, what's up, Don? Everybody out there. You guys, this young gentleman right here, YN Gilly, he's a artist. He's a rap artist. So, we all got to support each other. So look him up on your streaming services and where to purchase his album. I actually like some of his work as well. I actually like all of his work. I have yet to purchase an album from him. I actually listen to some of his music on my YouTube while I'm at work. Different vibes. You want to listen to different music when you're working. I have that. One day be rap, one day be heavy metal. I'm getting older, so I notice I'm listening to country. Don't tell me. I'm just kidding. Right here says YN Gilly. Heck yeah, we appreciate the content. I'm Dene. This morning there's a coyote at a neighbor's property in Phoenix, close to Central. Oh man, must be close to the canals, or might be a Yanatloshi. Who knows, huh?
Yep.
Crazy Coyote 13. Japanese have a name for love sickness to the point of your psychosis. Yandere. Oh, man. Let's see here. YN Gilly. Yeah, PPA and codes all need to be followed. Thank you, brother. Oh, yeah, definitely. Najoni Yoja. Okay, back to Gigi Lips stories while he's here. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. What else you got for us, Gigi Lips, on the love spell?
I can tell you about a story where my mom was actually witched by a skinwalker.
No.
This happened when she was younger, when she was a teenager. She was herding sheep at her grandma's house out towards out past Mentmore actually. And she said she was down in this little canyon and there was a mesa to the west of her, and she's seeing this man standing up there, and she didn't really take pay attention to him. But then what caught her attention was when he started walking, and all of a sudden he got down on all fours and he started running like a wolf, like a dog basically, and he ran behind the hill, and that's what scared her. So she said she hurried up and went home back to her grandma's house and chased the sheep back in the corral, and her grandma and her grandpa they said that they were going to a revival that night. So they said they were going to be back late, and they left all the kids behind, and my mom and her siblings, they were home alone. And then just when they were getting ready for bed, she said that the dogs they just started going crazy and they started barking. And then she didn't really want to pay too much attention of it, and she didn't want to scare her siblings about it. So she was trying to get them in bed, and she noticed that at the front door, and the front door was like a homemade door that her grandpa made, and there was a little hole in the door. And as she was looking at it, she seen like a stick poking in and out of it. And she said that there was like a person chanting in Navajo in front of the door. And she said that stick kept going in and out, and she started hearing a rattle at the same time. And just then the whole door started moving, and that's what freaked her out, and it freaked her siblings out. And they all bunched up in the corner, and they were just watching it, that stick going in and out for a good 10 minutes or so. And then she said it stopped. Just when it stopped, the dog stopped barking too. So she said she slowly got up and she walked to the window, and the only street light that was there was from her neighbor's house. And as she looked out, she seen that same person that she seen on top of the hill running away on all fours, and it ran underneath the streetlight heading east. And about 30 minutes later, she said her grandparents came back, and they were like getting yelled at because they're wondering why they're still awake and everything. And I guess my mom told them what was going on. So her grandpa actually told her to calm down, and then he was like a medicine before he converted to Christianity. So he kind of just put some stuff on them and helped them out. And then she said that later on that night, she woke up and she needed the restroom, and she didn't want to go outside because of what she'd seen before that. But it got the best of her. So she went outside to the outhouse, and she came back. As soon as she touched the door, she said everything just went black. And she woke up the next morning from her grandma shaking her. And I guess when she fell, she hit her head on the stone that was right there. And she woke up with blood running down her face, and they were wondering what happened to her. So they called one of the henchmen's that lived nearby, and came by and did his thing and helped him out. And then they said that they know the person that's doing it, and they said that the person that is doing it is going to come over in a couple of days. And then that whole day nobody came by. The day after, nobody came by. And then there was this old couple that showed up a couple of days later, and their excuse was they were going to buy a sheep. And at the time, her grandpa and her grandma weren't selling any sheep. So, and everybody in the area knew that. But then those people came up asking to buy sheep. And then I guess her grandpa asked him, what was it for? And then they said they were going to do a kinlata. And then he said that you guys don't have no grandkids. Why are you guys going to do it? You guys live alone. Your family don't live near here. He said, why are you guys going to do it? And then they were trying to make him an excuse, saying that they're to help out the people nearby. But then same thing. He said, those people are not doing it. If we knew, or if they were doing it, we would have known. And then he said, we're not going to sell your sheep. And then later on that week, that old man that lived there actually happened to get sick, like really sick. And he almost got to the point where he almost passed away. Mm-hmm. And then the same hamstrimmer came back and told him, did you guys find out who it was? And then the grandpa said, yeah, we found out who it was. and I guess told him what happened and everything. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, well, he's not going to bother you anymore. So from that day on, that person never came by. They never had any bad experiences or anything again.
Well,
Fire with fire sometimes, huh?
Yep.
yeah, these curses that these witches do, it's very much real. And I have my father. He was a part of the Navajo Nation Police, and he also uh, had stuff happen to him like that. And actually, it wasn't him. It was actually him and like two other police officers in Tuba City. Um, so I can't express this enough, but this the magic, the witchcraft. It's very much real, and sadly, it's still being used, and it'll probably still continue to be used. So, um, even as kids, we were always warned, but be careful what you say, or who you offend.
Yep.
You never know. So, I'm still trying to get my father on for this too, have him tell his story like that. But yeah, yep.
Yep. So since you've been doing this hand trembling, Lee, how many times did you have to defend yourself against them skinwalkers?
Few times actually. There was one time where I helped a lady. Um, yeah, I helped a lady out and found out who was doing it for her. And later on that night after she left, later on that night after she left, something was actually banging on the walls of the house, and then you can hear like someone talking in Navajo, but you couldn't understand what they were saying. It was just more of like mumbling. But then after a few minutes, something jumped on top of the house and it was running around. And then after I looked up in the fire, I seen who it was, and it was that person that I found out that was doing it. And he actually came by to try to get back at me. But I did my protection when I was helping her out, so he couldn't really do anything, just try to scare me and my siblings at the time. So
Hmm.
That fire. Um, they always used to tell us growing up, don't look into fire so much. It's gonna make you go crazy. And I always look into it, and I always see faces.
yep.
Some strange faces, but I never really told anybody. And so like I'm curious, like when you look into the fire, do you see like a whole like a movie projection playing out within the fire? What's going on, or how would you describe
Okay, so the way you're describing it, the reason why they tell you don't look into the fires, you might go crazy, is because that's really only meant for medicine men, they have that power to see things, but then even if you don't have the gift, it's still going to show you things because the fire is your grandfather. It's there to keep you warm, protect you, and cook for you basically. So
Yep.
that's why you have to offer it food whenever you're cooking on it. But for me, I don't necessarily need the fire or the ashes. It's like um I can see things in my head. And then that sounds crazy to anybody that's not
astro
Navajo, but yeah, and then I can even astral project myself. It's not every night, or I only do it so often, but it takes a toll on me, and it's kind of actually scary when I first started out when I was
is
started doing this.
Mm.
So it's where I can actually see people that actually passed away, and I can like walk among them. And then there was even one point where I was actually seeing myself sleeping, and there was actually someone else in the room with me
Mm.
watching me sleep.
So,
that brings
what?
me to another question, real quick. There, 1 second. Sorry. Um, have you ever had to walk somebody over, like how medians would go into a haunted house and help that person go on to the next life or next journey? You would say, have you ever had to do that before, or help out
No,
like a haunted house? No?
no, mainly because from what from what my team that's why you call it Navajo hand trembling. But what my Tinley told me is I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not gonna. I'm not supposed to help people out that need help in the other world, you know. So
Just the living surface.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Darren, you had a question you wanted to ask?
Yeah. Tell us about the first time you ever, you actually helped somebody out with the hand trembling. When were you just a kid or just
No, it actually happened for going on almost 5 years now.
Mm.
But like I said in the last episode was that I always knew I had a gift because I always seen people at the window and I always just see things that were never there that other people can see.
Mm.
But when I first started helping out people, it was actually kind of scary because I actually thought I was going crazy, hearing a voice in my head telling me what's wrong with this person and what's bothering them and even what they did in the past, you know. And it's it kind of opens your mind to everything. It's not just about Bigfoot, Dogman, and stuff like that, but it actually opens up your mind of who people really are and what they've done. And
Yeah. Well,
that's what actually happened the first time.
That's cool, man.
Is it something you just turn on and turn off, or is it just an every all day?
Well, it's something I can do. Just it's just like breathing, you know. I can just do it like that. It's just if I'm walking around in Walmart, I would actually see who's the bad people in there. There's like one time where my arm started hurting and it was like telling me, watch out, watch out. And then I was trying to ask like what's going on? Like, what are you trying to tell me? And they never said anything about it or said who it was until I came across this little old lady with a walker. And then my arm just started hurting and my hands just started shaking, so I put it in my jacket pocket. And my girlfriend, she actually seen my arm shaking, so she kind of covered me up. And then she was like looking around, and that old lady was right there next to us, and she kind of seen that it was her, and she just looking at her with like from a person's point of view, it's just an old lady with a walker. But for using my Tinley, it was you can actually see the paint on her with the skin and how she looks, and it's like showing me who she really is. And she at night when she puts everything on, the paint and everything, she's able to stand upright and basically run around like she's a teenager.
Oh.
So
Wow.
and there's even like a certain smell that comes with it. When there were people that run around at night, it's not like a smell of death or anything. It's more of like a I guess like a wet dog smell, I guess to describe it. But it's like a certain type of smell that you can smell from them.
Or like it smells like fat too. The fat of it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But this smell, what do you think? This smell that comes off people, is it something to do with portal jumping or anything like that? You know how they say like demonic entities usually come with a smell of sulfur or stuff like that. Is that how that works, or?
Well, without trying to give too much information about it, I'm just giving enough information for the viewers to understand it. But it's kind of like one of our ceremonies, the blackening ceremonies, where you would have to put the fat from a sheep, mix it with the black ashes and put it on you. It's something similar to that. It's the body fat of the animal that they would put on with the blood. And anybody that has been blackened knows that that smell of the animal or the sheep fat is hard to get off. And the people that run around at night, you can smell it off of them. Like you were saying, that's like a type of animal fat. And that's the kind of smell that you're smelling off of them. So.
That's pretty awesome right there. That's pretty awesome.
Uh,
Um,
Don.
oh, go ahead, Darren. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, we couldn't hear you for a minute there. Were you talking?
Was it?
I said you weren't
Oh
talking. Were
yeah.
you?
Oh, I was gonna. I was saying that's pretty amazing right there. I had a question, but I was gonna ask you if you had a question first before
Hmm.
I asked him a question. Oh, okay, okay, it's all good. So, like I know that the back in the day, there used to be five main components of our people. You know, like I was saying on the other episodes, was the raiders, the warriors, the messengers, which were the Loshis, and then you would have the weapons maker, and then the last one was the hand tremblers, and they would use the horn toad, the che, like for blessings and ceremonies, and they would use the Arnella, that would be the Gila monster, and then they would reveal to them which way the enemy is coming or where your stolen niece is at, which way they went, it would point them. So I was just wondering, is there like any way you guys still use them to this day?
Yeah, I mean, people have come to me, um, like just to find their car keys. Like sometimes they just go missing, and they'll come to me and ask me to find their
Definitely.
keys. I mean, I'll be like, okay, I guess I'll help you, but um, it's kind of similar to what you're talking about back from the old days, but now that's like the new generation. But it has been used for that.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
And then usually it's always
Mhm.
for like people that are like non-believers of this, where it actually opens their mind to it. So
Hmm.
Yeah, we did that with my aunt. Like I always known she was a hand trembler. Like when I first met her, I knew she was right off the back because we're sitting at the table. I'm introducing myself, talking. I look at her, and I would catch her every time she's looking at me, but she's not, like she's looking at me right here and right here. And she's like this, always looking at me. And I look at her and I say within my mind, I'm like, what are you looking for, Auntie? And then she looks at her food. She's like, oh. And then whenever she's talking to me, she's like, I look at her like, what are you looking at, Auntie? She's like, still to this day. But she's really cool though. She helped us find our keys because I had to go to work the next day. And
yeah,
I always believed that, like my grandpa, he always, told us some stories, some amazing stories like you have right here. Um, let's read some of these ones real quick. Questions before we close out. We're running out of time already. Crazy Coyote 13. A warning to all skinwalkers slash witches and evil beings. Do not do anything to anyone because now there's a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan combat vets on the reservation and they aren't afraid to shoot. Well, yeah, definitely. Crazy Coyote had a great uncle who was a hand trembler. Ever great once in a while, something kicks in to warn me about stuff. Oh wow! So it passes down. It
Hmm.
definitely passes
yeah, it
down.
does.
And they said the gods, the Navajo gods, would know who you are through DNA too. They'll be know you belong to them as well. Crazy Coyote. I know that smell my mom had uh Black King done to her. Oh wow. Little Wolf lost my keys. I lose my keys all the time. Once for a whole day, only to find them on my car somewhere. I know they weren't. Ooh, the little people. Ms. Joni Yeja, very awesome live tonight. Thank you for your live double D's and everything you do, Mr. Lee. Oh yeah. Thank you for helping us out, Mr.
Hmm.
Lee. Next generation hand trembler right here. Mr. Lee is also a part of our team, and eventually you'll see us come out with some content and maybe even some hard work documentary in the future where you would say, "Hey, which way they go, Lee? All right, go that way." Then Darren will go the other way just in case. But okay, oh, right here. Let's see here. YN Gilly, what kind of power do hand tremblers have, and how do they initiate it or picked? How would you say that, Mr. Lee? How would someone obtain that, or how would they be picked for that gift?
I mean, if it's passed down in your family, it's usually given to the person with the strongest will. someone that can use it for good, but then along the way they can turn bad with it. And those are the greedy ones where they don't want to use it just for other people's gain, but their own personal gain. So along the way they can turn bad. But another way is um I guess asking for it. Um there's that way because there's a ceremony where you can ask for it. But I'm not gonna go too much in detail, but um they have the people in the room, the man sings, and yeah, it chooses a random person. But there's that way as well. But for me, I'm comfortable telling the viewers because um I protect myself all the time. So there's really nothing bad that will come towards me. But it was given to me as a gift from my mom's side of the family. And like I said, from when I was younger, I would able to see things at the window, see things that are not there. And it actually was given to me after my uncle passed away. And just like everything from our tradition, it's a give or take thing. It took my uncle away from us, but it gave me the gift to help other people. So
Yeah.
Well,
You gotta be aware the prices
Yeah.
of responsibility, and that's very true. That's very real. We have good and bad, and our people's always about balance. We always strive for balance, and it's really up to that individual. And my wife and I, we both had the experience of the bad ones. So which really made us, when we became adults, it made us more aware, and made us watch our steps and cover our tracks even more. And now we're older, and now we're like want to share with everyone else and be like, hey, this is what's going on. There's ways to combat this, and to be on the offensive on certain situations. And that's one of the reasons why we done this podcast, and to reach out like-minded people and to help educate the masses, especially the misconception, the misunderstanding of our people, of our identity. And,
for sure.
thank you, Mr. Lee.
Yep.
Everyone right here is saying thank you right here. Thank you. Right here. Crazy Coyote. Keep doing the Lord's work, boys. The people need it. Oh,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you, Crazy. Great job, Mr. Lee. YN Gilly, can you tell who's bad or who's good? Maybe the next one, huh?
Yep.
It's there's usually pretty tall tales on that one. Oh, right here. K Bear 9. My cousin lost her mom. She started getting hand trembler later in her life. She didn't want it in that moment or so. They had did a ceremony for it to come later on in another lifetime. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's actually
Very
true. You can
interesting.
do that too.
Wow. So like it can like taught to pass on
Yeah.
to the next family.
There's also another thing where um if you have it get it fixed to you, like like you have it get the ceremony done for you, other people can actually take it from you. Just like brushing up on your hand or like basically grabbing your hand, they can actually take it away from you. But the thing about mine was I got my ceremony done and I got it fixed in me, so that's why I'm able to use it at a more of extent than someone that just barely got it.
They'll steal it from you too. The ones that
Yeah.
have the dark, they'll know who has it, and they'll take their life. And if they find out that that family's whole family has the gift, they'll take the whole entire family too.
Yeah.
That seen
So this
that.
gift,
Darren,
does it make you tired or make you sick after a while?
we're running low, Darren. Real quick, we're running low. But go ahead, say it again.
Yeah, it actually does because when I first got it and I started helping people, I would actually get sick from afterwards. I would start throwing up and I would actually get really tired from it. But after I got fixed with my ceremony, it doesn't do that often. But I noticed that it's been kind of taking a toll on me, so I kind of slowed down on it.
Well, Just
Oh,
do.
that's why some of the medicine men they say they get in front of it for us. Some of the things I heard. Okay, but yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Darren. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
just saying that. Probably won't ask you any questions and won't get you sick. Nothing like that. You know.
Oh no,
So
no, you're fine. You're fine.
all
I
right.
already protected myself before I got on. So
Cool.
Oh heck yeah,
Good, good.
heck yeah. Make sure
But
you do the protection of no hickeys too.
yours is covered up, Don.
But- Crazy Coyote. Oh, thanks for doing this, boys. You, Sasquatch Chronicles, Missing 401, and many other podcasters are giving people the courage to come forward and lift burdens from them. Hey,
oh yeah.
well said, Crazy Coyote. We're running low on time. You want to say laters to everyone, Lee? We're gonna bring you back on for part 3. We're just gonna kick it and we'll chop up more of your part 1 and 2 to ask questions thrown at you. Um, any last things you want to say, Mr. Lee, to the viewers?
Just do your best to be good. I mean, it's not a perfect world. Everybody does their own bad things and does their own good things, but just try to do more good and whatever you believe in. And if it works for you, it works for you, I guess. So there's really no saying this is better, that's better. It's just what you believe in. So just try to be good.
Nice.
All right, Darren, you want to say laters to everyone?
Hey, laters, and don't worry too much about the holidays. It's just a holiday, so take care of yourselves.
Yep. All righty, guys. We'll see you on the other side. Gonna kick you off. Running out of time. We'll catch you on the next one, Mr. Lee. We'll plan for part 3 as soon as we get
For
off
sure.
here. All right. See you guys, man. Good job,
Later.
Darren. Good job, Mr. Lee. Laters. Thank you for tuning into Don't Whistle at Night. We are broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm your host, Don Yazzie, with my co-host, Darren Yazzie, and our guest, Lee, tonight. We like to say thank you to everyone tuning in, and thank you to Sean Kelly, Into the Night. You guys have a great one as well. Stay weird out there. Don't whistle at night. See ya.